Welcome back. We're on part 4, and now it's time to start the writing awards. The best and the worst catchphrase or slogan. So the worst out of all of them, what do you think? What's that one thing that people say that you never want to hear again?
There's a lot of things I don't want to hear them say again and again and again.
Such as, coming to the ring, John Cena.
The Divas chant. No. Worst catchphrase? I think whenever Booker T talked as a general manager, it was annoying. It's like it didn't make sense.
Tell me I did not just see that.
Yeah, at the slam, that was, oh my god, that was bad. Awesome to see Boogeyman, but annoying to hear Booker. So I'm going to go with anything Booker says as a general manager.
Probably in real life, too.
And real life. Well, I don't know. He said Shucky Ducky. I think that was one of our favorite ones last year.
Yeah.
And what the hell?
I had a tie between the whole multilingual Antonio Cesaro thing, because I just don't see the point in that. If you're going to give that to somebody, give it to Damian Sandow. He's supposed to be this incredibly intelligent person, and they're like, Cesaro, I don't know, you say it in French. Real good gimmick.
Way?
And, the other one is Vicky Guerrero screaming. I love the excuse me. I hate the screaming. When she just looks at the camera and just goes, I can't stand it. It's not fun anymore, and it's not,
Gives you a headache.
Yeah, it's tired of it. What do you think the best one is, though?
Best catchphrase? Anytime he shows up. Especially at the Hall of Fame, when I watched his induction speech. The whole damn. Ron Simmons is amazing. He did this for the Hall of Fame. For those of you who didn't get to see it, it was great. He goes, there's only one word that can really sum up how I feel right now. Grateful. And everybody was like, no! That is one word, yet it keeps you on like the edge of your chair waiting for it. And that whole pause he does too. It's just like, you son of a bitch, say it. Say it, you son of a bitch. Damn! Yeah!
And he waits longer and longer each time. It's going to get to the point where they're going to start an episode of Raw, and it's just going to be like, ladies and gentlemen, Ron Simmons, and he's going to go, they're going to go to commercial, they're going to come back, but then, of course, when he goes to the commercial, he's going to have to go outside of the ring, because that's apparently all you have to do with WWE. You go outside of the ring, now we're going to go to commercial now. I went with the yes and the no chant from Daniel Bryan. I know I rag on Daniel Bryan all the time, because I think that he's pretty much... I'll give you this, alright. He was a lot more overrated. And he's earned a lot of my respect. So, with the yes thing and the no and all that, I mean, the idiot comes down, yes, 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 and he catches on more than the what has.
Yeah.
And then he switches over to, no, that's a perfect way to do it. Absolutely love that. It's, I actually hope that stays for, years and years and years to come. So.
Especially when he does the kicks. He can do like 30 kicks and he's still screaming at the top of his yes! Yes! I would lose my breath after one.
I probably would lose it on the way to the fucking ring, and that's the thing. Charles Robinson has the edge on me. He runs to the ring, I'd be like, that'll take a while.
I'll get there, guys.
I'll get there, yes.
Go into a sleeper hold.
The best and the worst retro appearance. This is one of the new awards where we kind of talk about the flashbacks or the comebacks or whatever you want to call it. I guess I don't know. There's a lot of different ways that you can call it. Essentially, what it is an old wrestler, an old manager, or something of the other. Maybe even I would even say if you said the old logo would come back or something. Anything where it used to be and it makes a return. And of course, it can't be somebody that has a comeback from this year or something like that, because Randy Orton gets injured, comes back 2 weeks later, best comeback of the year, like that. No, come on. Out of those kind of things, what do you think is the worst?
Worst had to be, I mean, there was actually a lot of comebacks this year for people.
Especially with this Heath Slater angle.
Heath Slater, the whole Raw 1000, the Slammies, they brought a few people back. Well, they brought the Nature Boy back. But I think the worst is probably X-Pac, Sean Waltman. He looked like shit. And he was telling everybody, like, oh yeah, I'm going to be back, I'm going to be a trainer, I'm going to do all that. He looked like he was pregnant. And like, he had probably the worst downfall. And like Flair is old looking, but he still didn't look as bad. Like he still looked the same like he did when he left. But Waltman just looked like shit.
And then all he does is hits on Trish.
Yeah.
Hey. It's like, not gonna happen, dude.
Yeah, you look like shit.
Cyndi Lauper with Wendy Richter. It was an awful segment, and not even Rowdy Roddy Piper could save it. Just terrible. I mean, I almost gave this to Slick at the wedding because that was pretty bad. We had some really good ones, and Cyndi Lauper and all that. When they came out, it was like, ah, man, like you were on this good roll. You had like Vader, and you had Sid, and you had all these other people like that, and you had Cyndi Lauper, and it's terrible. And all they did was like, you know, oh, look at that, I'm still alive.
'Cause girls just wanna have fun.
Best.
There was so many. I mean, Royal Rumble, Road Dogg returned, went nuts. Royal Rumble, Ricardo Rodriguez comes out in that POS car, being Del Rio because Del Rio was injured. Then you had Sid. He hadn't been around, what, 10 years, I think they said it was?
Something, yeah.
Vader returned, which was... Then these guys that returned to the whole Slater angle looked really good. Like, they could actually come back and do some decent matches. Billy Gunn looked really good.
Yeah.
But I think overall, Ricardo Rodriguez in that POS car, and as a Royal Rumble entrance, was awesome. And if not him, Lesnar. Because you went from, like, a... WrestleMania with all that was like fully star-loaded. I mean, you had Edge, Hall of Fame, Rock, Russell in a match, all that stuff. To Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania is kind of like everybody goes back and hibernates, and that the last moment was Brock Lesnar. So I'm gonna go with Brock.
Brock Lesnar certainly qualifies.
Mm-hmm.
Just that's the guy that we were talking about earlier. Fan. I'm gonna go with something really stupid here, and. It's like the two ends of the spectrum here, because it's like the Brock Lesnar pick is the Smark pick of, oh, we wanted him back because of UFC and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Mae Young's son, the fucking hand. That was so stupid that he was all grown up and he was just this guy in a hand costume, but let it be told that I don't always run down the silly stuff. I mean, that was so motherfucking dumb. That I busted out laughing, and I just loved it. It was so stupid that you can't not love it. I didn't think they would ever pull that out again.
15 years later, and they brought it back. Fuck, I remember being a kid and seeing that. And like, he gave birth to a hand.
Just odd.
Yeah.
I loved it, though. Now we're at the best and the worst pay-per-view. So this, I'm gonna have something to talk about this. What do you think's the worst?
I'm gonna go with SummerSlam. It was a lackluster main event, 2 of them. The Triple H just being Triple H, that I have to wrestle Brock Lesnar since Brock Lesnar gets limited dates. I'm gonna wrestle him, and it wasn't even that great of a match.
What do you mean it was the perfect storm?
Yeah, it was terrible.
I didn't even like the fucking movie.
I actually enjoyed the build-up to it more. With the Heyman, Stephanie thing, and like Heyman Triple H, his interaction. Heyman would have actually saved whatever was salvageable from that feud, and they redo this match at WrestleMania 29. Pissed. Basically, the SummerSlam main event was the same SummerSlam main event for the past 3 years. First, it was Big Show versus Punk, then it was Punk versus Cena. Now it's Punk versus both of them, and it sucked. Just for being the second biggest show of the year, it felt like it was just an in-between pay-per-view.
I went with WrestleMania, and this is one of the times I'm going to actually read some stuff down here. Commercials. Way too many fucking commercials.
Even at the stadium, they would play them on. They would play them at the big screens.
Fucking ridiculous. Musical performances. If I want to watch a goddamn musical performance, I will put on. Well, I'm not going to put on the TV.
MTV
DVR.
music.
I'll go on YouTube and I'll fucking download it. That's what it is. Disappointing matches. We had the 18-second match, which I called it ahead of time, and people were pissed off about that.
Orton and Kane.
Orton and Kane with a stupid feud. big show. I was disappointed that he won the Intercontinental title from Cody Rhodes. Then he drops it right back. So what was the point? Because he needed a WrestleMania moment. Now, the Team Teddy Long against Team John Laurinaitis feud. I thought that match was just very basic. It almost felt like it was a Raw match.
It was shitty if you were in the arena too, because you had 5 men on each side of the ring, so you couldn't. Especially us, we were sitting on the Khali side, so you couldn't see the damn match.
And out of everything, you gotta say it's Khali.
Mm-hmm.
We had that horrible Divas tag match with Maria Menounos, where everybody thought that she shit herself.
She should have.
She shit all over the matches when she did. And then the 3 main events: the Triple H Hell in a Cell match, the Jericho match against CM Punk, and the Rock and Cena match.
Terrible.
All underperformed. Really, I almost spent all the money to go to WrestleMania that year, and I'm so fucking glad that I didn't. And I'm really hoping that doesn't come into play this year, because if that is the case, then it's going to make me magnified that much worse. So that is it for part 4, and we're going to go midway through here and continue with the writing awards in part 5.